My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is February 4th, 2025. It is 12:32 a.m. There's really not that much going on Twitter. I spent about an hour and a half to grab some tweets for you guys. Nothing really meaningful to share with you, but I find a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 of them. That's worth sharing. And then tomorrow I have jury duty. Now I have to show up. I was supposed to show up yesterday, but they changed my schedule. So now I have to show up. So I don't want to make this video too long. And yesterday, after I finished, did my editing, did other work, went to the gym. I did a full body workout. Literally, full body workout because I knew this week will be a bit hectic because of jury duty, and I didn't know when I'm gonna go, if they're gonna change my schedule again. So I said, you know what? Let me do a full body just in case I don't show up. I have to show up at jury duty, and literally right after I finish, I got a phone call. Yes, I have to show up. So this is the background. 4,518 subscribers. I don't think there's any new subscribers. If you are new, welcome. Analytics. Okay, 658 views in the last 48 hours. Okay, so let's get started. So yesterday, I was seeing things trending, and I didn't know what the squad was making reference to. And then I saw this, and I was like, oh, so that's what they were talking about. I didn't put that tweet. If you go on my community board, you might see it. Because I started sharing some conversation the squad were having, but I didn't know where the conversation or where or what they were talking about. But they were making reference to without showing any screenshot or naming names or anything like that. But I knew something was happening with the Left Behinders. And then later on, I came in and see this. Our newest royal photographer's picture on a few papers. And not only that, when I got on Twitter and I saw Prince Louis was trending, and I was like, what Prince Louis, what did he do this time? I mean, like tonight, okay? Not when I was on my phone or anything like that. Tonight, trying to look for tweets for you guys. And I saw he was trending. And then later on, I found out that they claim he was the one who took this picture. Okay, so this is why this caption is making reference to it. Our newest royal photographer's picture on a few papers. And it's very sad they're getting those kids. Well, that's their job, but getting them started already. They're going to be using him. We know how the story goes with Harry and stuff like that. He's the youngest, and, he's the one who's further away from the throne, so they're gonna be using him to do all sort of stuff. Oh my God. May God help him. He's still a child, okay? He's still a child. And despite how we feel about his parents, but he's still a child. And he is still Princess Diana's grandbaby, so God help him. May he find ways. May he find ways. Don't stay buried on the lies that they... It's sad. It's sad. I like posting news cover. Okay, I don't even want to go in the comment, okay? Like I said, I don't want this video to be too long. I just want to show you what they're talking about. And I don't really talk too much about the Left Behinders, but that's what's going on right now. So there's another one here. We've really gone from appalling that Prince Harry will demand accountability and privacy to Prince William did it first, but behind the scenes, okay? And I think I shared that with you too on my community board. Now, Harry have been being praised for taking on Murdoch, but this one in the background, we will never know. we would have never known if Harry did not go to court to reveal that he took his settlement and shut his mouth. Okay? And then the Derangers are claiming, oh, he donated his money to charity. Which charity? His charity. You think that really went, you know what? That's your case problem, but let me just read that. Inside Prince William's hidden battle against media intrusion, Prince William is more focused on finding practical means away from the cameras of dealing with the media. And then that last tweet that I just shared with you with the little one, they're already putting him out there. Make what you will with it. Okay, coward Berkshire really only made deal behind closed doors because the media got dirt on him. He's as dirty as the media. He never stood up for his mom or those other subjects who were victims of the same crime and abuse. Selfish prince and a weak leader. Yeah. And then, to continue with this comment here, the tweet that I just read, and then he had the gall to go on national television to pick up on the same BS that the tabloid have been labeling his mother. Paranoid.
I would like to thank Lord Dyson and his team for the report. It is welcome that the BBC accepts Lord Dyson's findings in full, which are extremely concerning. That BBC employees lied and used fake documents to obtain the interview with my mother, made lurid and false claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
And Princess Diana had explained that, now that we talk more about it, postpartum depression, maybe that's what she was going through.
After the wedding, before you became pregnant, what was your reaction when you learned that the child was a boy?
Enormous relief. I felt the whole country was in labour with me. And enormous relief. But I had actually known William was going to be a boy because the scan had shown it, so of course no surprise.
Had you always wanted to have a family?
Yes, I came from a family where there were 4 of us, so we had enormous fun there. And then William and Harry arrived. Fortunately, 2 boys. It would have been a little tricky if it had been 2 girls. But that in itself brings responsibilities of bringing them up. William's future being as it is, and Harry was sort of like a form of a backup in that aspect.
How did the rest of the royal family react when they learnt that the child that you were to have was going to be a boy?
Well, everybody was thrilled to bits. It was been quite a difficult pregnancy. I hadn't been very well throughout it. So by the time William arrived, there was great relief because it was all peaceful again, and I was well for a time. Then I was unwell with postnatal depression, which no one ever discusses postnatal depression. You have to read about it afterwards. And that in itself was a bit of a difficult time. You'd wake up in the morning feeling you didn't want to get out of bed, you felt misunderstood, and just very, very low in yourself.
Was this completely out of character for you?
Yes, very much so. I've never had a depression in my life. But then when I analysed it, I could see that the changes I'd made in the last year had all caught up with me, and my body had said, we want a rest.
What was the family's reaction to your postnatal depression?
Well, maybe I was the first person ever to be in this family who ever had a depression or was ever openly tearful. And obviously that was daunting, because if you've never seen it before, how do you support it?
What effect did the depression have on your marriage?
Well, it gave everybody a wonderful new label. It's Diana's unstable, and Diana's mentally imbalanced. And unfortunately, that seems to have stuck on and off over the years.
False claims about the royal family, which played on her fears and fueled paranoia.
But these people, instead of helping her, they instigated even more. All right, so let me read some more and then move on. Whatever is here. This isn't like I'm not going to go into it. But they don't acknowledge Harry's way yielding stronger, more and permanent result. Prince William didn't have the tools to fight like Prince Harry did. What do you mean he didn't have the tools? He had actually more leverage than Harry to fight them on. As a matter of fact, William actually had, well, allegedly, I know some stuff, but you know, when you read stuff from tabloid, there's other things that attach to it, but allegedly he add more to his pain. He literally, okay, not only did he kick him out, we find that in court, that's a fact, because it was in court, push him out, and then after that, they instigate Harry to thinking that putting so much pressure, unnecessary burden onto Harry will come back. So you tell me if he wasn't, the brother wasn't part of this. All right. But they don't acknowledge Harry's way yielding stronger and more permanent result. Prince William's didn't have the tools to fight like Prince Harry did, shades of what a weak king he'll be, always in competition with fifth in line, stronger younger brother, weak. He had a lot of tools. In my humble opinion, I think he had more tools than Harry. Okay, not only the money and resources, okay, and I don't know. I was thinking of the lawyer of the palace, but then again, when you look at Meghan's situation, Harry's situation, they did not want them to pursue with their lawsuit, so there's that. Okay, so those lawyers are pretty much, in my humble opinion, based on two previous experiences, not personal, but Harry and Meghan's experiences, is that the lawyers are really not looking out for the institution. Because this would have been something that would be good for the country. When Meghan was suing the papers regarding her letter, they did not want to, because at first Meghan was relying on the palace's lawyer, but they were giving her the runaround until she realized that they weren't going to do anything. She took it upon herself to sue the paper herself. And then there's Harry here. The moment he mentioned it to one of those, just look at the screen. I think I have the document that says when Harry mentioned it to one of those courtiers, and then instead of backing up Harry, they turned against Harry. So there's something going on within the palace. Okay, so there's that. Let me see. There's 4 comments under it. Okay, so Harry got money, so did William, which he gave to charity, but William's action also got a huge paper closed down and people jail. What else did Harry get that William didn't? Let me see. Okay, I'm going deeper now. The News of the World closed in 2011 and William got his payout in 2020. So he didn't get it closed down. It had already been closed for almost a decade. That's a very good point. Okay, so there's all of that. I don't want to go into it. 2011, and I think it's because Harry was putting so much pressure, and then this is what I think happened, my humble opinion, because of the pressure they're putting. They meaning only Harry, not they, just Harry, okay, will not let that go. So the papers know what they did, but before they were denying everything. So in my humble opinion, I think because they have relationship with William, so they probably tell William, I'm going to give you this amount, do not bring this to court, and then probably give him a little bit extra and said, okay, make sure your brother don't sue us. But William have no control over Harry. All right, and then start going after his wife and all sort of BS. Okay, what else? So that's it. All right, after what's on the screen, that's it. Let me read bottom up. So hidden, it doesn't exist. Harry alludes to this in his book because Charles and William wanted to control pictures that can be taken of them and such, but it hits different when people are arrested for threatening to unalive your child. Very well stated. Tag somebody. Well, the whole problem is that it was behind the scene. All the inaccuracy articles written have been in public domain for decades. The redress needed to be public also. Or what is the point? William had the clout and the money but chose not to do it. Exactly. You see, this is what I'm saying. He had more money than Harry. All right. There's one comment under that. 55 people like it. Okay, so this one I cannot see. So let's leave that alone. There's more comment, but I want to edit this before 7 o'clock. Next tweet. So this is something the squad put. There's the laugh here. Oh, yeah. The Kate effect is very real. Alright, so she retweeted that. And this is the comment under her tweet. The squaddy that I get the tweet from. So people are just laughing. So now I'm going to the retweet. So completely, I left the squad behind. Megan Effect clothes sell out. How the Megan Effects turned these 8 brands into sellout sensation overnight. From 4,000 strong waiting list to 20,000 pound and sell within hours. Nothing quite prepare fashion designers for the Duchess's influence. So there's that here. That's Megan. And now Kate Effect, entire brand collapse. Kate Middleton, go-to luxury label. The Vampire's Wife is closing down. What the name? Vampire's Wife. The name itself is horrible. Vampire. Okay. There's no comment. That's that. Alright, next tweet. I think that has to do with Kate as well. Let's pause that. GIF. Kate Middleton, judge me for my work. The rest of the world just looking what work. Laughing my ass off. What work does Kate Middleton exactly do? Does she mean her 30-minute photo app twice a year? Laughing my ass off. Kate Middleton is truly going to hell. She's just a baggage for God. Let's pause this. This is when I see things moving, it's a bit distracting. Alright, she actually had to get off her bone idle ass for us to do that, meaning to judge her. 3 children at school, yet never she nor her husband are capable of doing more than 3 hours a month. Then again, she said she worked hard during the engagement interview, so the woman is deluded. Always has been. Did she say that? For the engagement? I don't know. Let's for comment under it. Let's see. Always will be. Okay, loser. There's that. She will always be deluded. Her hyena laugh is so cringe. I thought she was going to be a worldwide Vogue cover girl. Oops, another KP planted story. Does this mean after 12 years she is going to actually work? If ever there was an empty canister, it's Kate. There's a laugh here. LOL. That's the last of it for the first half of 2025 then. She's done 3 visits, so she'll need at least 6 months off to recover, recharge, and as we all know, she's still learning.
I think so. We have great news. They're very generous, aren't they? Mine's learning. It's learning. How to do. Good luck with that.
Let's leave that alone. Okay, so here it's a little bit more, I would say, US kind of thing, but still, there's so many things that's being talked about in the US. About the US. Okay, so there's this here about Harry. State of press and government, rock bottom. Alright, so there's this here. That's a retweet of that. So this is Harry's quote. Democracy fails when your press fails to scrutinize and hold the government accountable and instead choose to get in bed with them so they can ensure the status quo. Prince Harry. Now, one thing I always believe, whenever people want something to be the it thing, to follow through worldwide, they have to bring it to the US. So now that it is in the US, there's a possibility we might learn how to end it as well. It's like a slow motion. The way it appear in the United States, probably the same way, well, the UK have been in it for a very long time.
When racism as such, as a philosophy, kicked in, was as a direct reaction to the abolitionist movement. The abolitionist movement driven by some of the leading intellectuals of the day, as well as driven by hundreds of thousands of ordinary people in this kingdom who signed petitions after petitions and presented them to the House of Lords. When the abolition movement really kicked in from the 1780s onwards, the planters had to respond. And so this is where you get the most virulent imagery about brutal, pagan, bestial.
But the media is a powerful force.
Black people in the literature and in the imagery.
Cartoons portraying black people as licentious and depraved began to circulate.
But the media is a powerful force.
The anti-abolitionist Edward Long wrote,
"The lower class women in England are remarkably fond of the blacks. In the course of a few generations more, the English blood will become so contaminated with this mixture as even to reach the middle and then the higher orders of the people. This is a venomous and dangerous ulcer that threatens to disperse its malignancy far and wide until every family catches infection from it."
okay? And they are the foundation, despite what we know or what we heard about Russia, okay? Russia has its own thing, but the foundation of things started in the UK. So now Russia learned a thing or two from the UK, and then there are some government people, officials, who collaborate with Russia. And then let's not forget the US. There are some people in the United States, even before Trump came in, okay, who collaborate with Russia as well to get us where we are now. Okay? So now that it is here, they want those groups, okay, not Harry, but the Murdoch, the Trump, and the Heritage Foundation groups, okay, they want the rest of the world to be that. Now, while it's so, the infancy of it is in the United States, we might be able to see how we end it. So let's put a question mark here. We are going through it right now because the United States have been in a state of prosperity throughout. The spectrum that Harry has talked about the newspaper, where some people, or social media, I think, when he was at Dilbrook, you know, the spectrum where there's a group who's fighting so hard to keep it safe, and yet there's another group who's, trying to sabotage it.
What I really don't like, and what I find hard to make peace with, is that there are some people on one end of the spectrum who are sitting behind their keyboards writing dangerous or defamatory headlines, knowing that it's going to work as clickbait because any context in the rest of the article protects them and there's nothing you can do about it. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have Nobel Prize winners like Maria Ressa, who's literally putting her life on the line, and war correspondents who, again, are putting their lives on the line to bring us the truth. So that, to me, is the spectrum. And my life has been covered by this end of the spectrum, which I will be damned if those journalists are going to ruin journalism for everybody else because we depend on it so much.
Okay, so he was like in the middle where they use him and he's trying to help stop it as well. So that's the spectrum. The same thing can apply here. The spectrum of a group who wants to demolish democracy, and there's some people who literally been at the receiving end of democracy where they don't care about anything. They're just enjoying life, the freedom that they have, because there have been so many other groups who've been fighting to keep democracy alive. So now those people who then care, who were enjoying democracy to the fullest, so now they're feeling it. Now they're feeling, and they are one of those who are the most I would say passionate as well, and get angry very easily. Now that they're disturbing their peace of mind, we'll see how they react, because the group, well, not all, because there are still some people who's fighting to make sure that democracy remain. So this group are still there, but the group that's there's a group who's been the receiving end of it, that's African American, who actually warn the rest, the vast, be careful, this is where you're stepping in. So this group is staying back, allowing those who've been enjoying the receiving end of the democracy, prosperity, everything that democracy had to offer. They've been at it. They've been receiving end of it. But now, it's like a whiplash. Just hit them. Now they're feeling it. So let's see what they're gonna do. Let's see what they're gonna do. Because those groups that are feeling it, they don't want who act without thinking. Literally, they act without thinking because they put this guy back in. Because they never were the receiving end of what African American have been endure at that part of democracy. Even though it was democracy, but it was the other side of democracy. Putting roadblocks after roadblocks to prevent them from reaching their full potential and all of that. But anyway, we shall see how that ends, because I truly believe the US will always be a model of what to be. And then even though it's here, the negative aspect is here, we might be able to see how it ends out well. as well. So it's a matter of time. Because my members, I think there's one recording that I did. Okay, too many thoughts is coming. The first thought that I started is that my members should know that, should not be surprised what the U.S. is going through right now. Because there's some videos that I've put out for, I only put it for my members because my chain of thought, things that I could explain, they might be able to understand it. And it's not like I wanted everybody to see it or my members to see it as well. It's just that I wanted to document it. That what I saw before it happened, I wanted to document it. At some point, some of you might see it, or maybe not. I don't know. What we're dealing right now, I'm not surprised. And I'm also not surprised that something big is coming. Okay? We will see how we get out of this. Alright? So that's all I'm going to say. And the other thing that popped up as I was studying that first thought is that there's a recording that I did a little bit, I think in January. I need to edit it. It's just audio. I did it on my phone. I need to look for it. I don't think I've ever edited. But anyway, let's continue with this. So I read Harry's quote. There's no comment here. So let's go into that retweet. Okay? Once upon a time, the fourth estate stood outside power and held it to account. Now they are in the room to oblige with the photo opportunities. Photo proudly appears in Murdoch's on New York Post. Alright? For some reason, I feel like, because it's so vast, there's so many people involved. So many people involved. It's hard to really, I don't know. I've said some stuff to my members. Just wait and see. Because there's too many people involved. Too many people involved. They just need to reveal themselves. So you know the key players. That's all. Okay, so there's that. The caption below it says, Donald Trump alongside Secretary of Commerce nominee Howard Lutnick, Center, and Rupert Murdoch, right, speaks to the press after signing an executive order to create a U.S. sovereign wealth fund in the Oval Office of the White House on Monday. He looks weird though. But those things that he's signing, these are those people, I don't know. People need to ask, what is Congress doing? Because there is no way. Can you imagine if Obama did this? Just imagine the uproar. The uproar. Where are the elected officials to put a stop to it? I didn't share this, and I didn't put it on my on the list with what's his name, McConnell. I think he did a 60-minute interview. I didn't even bother listening to it because right now this is what he wanted. The state that we are in, all those people in position, this is what he wanted. Anything that he said is just BSing, pretending he's not part of it. Okay? All the Supreme Court that we have here now, it's because of him. And very sadly, Obama had listened to them and did not appoint a Supreme Court judge. I think it was his first term. Okay, and then they told him, oh, the midterm is coming, let the people speak, and da-da-da, and then this is where we are. Okay? Anyway, what else? The other picture, there he is. President Donald Trump signed executive orders in the Oval Office. God help us. All right, are there any comments? Let me read what's there, and then that's it. Bottom up. Murdoch is responsible for the decline in journalism both in the US, UK, and Australia. Okay, Murdoch will be gone soon. Time now is to thwart any continuity of editorial domination of the Murdoch legacy and the Fox News Live Factory. But the thing is that so many things. Okay, I'm seeing chopping trees from bottom up because I'm thinking of education. Okay, it was systematic. It's a group effort that got us here. Okay, group effort. They know if there is no education, the people will be stupid enough to vote against their best interests. Look at this. They're trying to destroy the education system. Okay? Because their group will be going to a private school, and they got the hand of the money of the United States to do whatever. It's just chaos that's going on. It was systematic, step by step. Okay? And it's a group effort. Some of them have already died. Okay, think of Ronald Reagan and other people. What's this guy, that television radio personnel that died with cancer? He was a huge radio person. I'm seeing his face, but I can't think of his name. Okay, group effort. So now we are here. In a way, I feel like we had to go through this because you have so many people who's working their butt off. This is the spectrum here, okay? That they're trying to uphold democracy. And meanwhile, people are voting incompetent people, pay them extra to destroy democracy, okay? Chopping it down one at a time, one at a time. So now that the people are feeling it, they need to feel it. This is why I said, you know, as upset that I am that Kamala did not win, I'm going to put an asterisk in that, okay? Every time I say she did not win, but there's an asterisk there, okay? Because all the chaos that we were seeing leading up to the election, voting, the drop-off box being burnt, and all sort of chaos that was going around the election. And some of them we probably will never know. And I've heard there's people who find a huge mail-in voting thing being tossed out someplace or something like that. So there's a lot of things that surround that. Okay. So despite Kamala Harris is not at the White House right now, it's very sad. Okay, because I don't want to laugh at the MAGAs, the F around, find out type of that's going around, trending, because I am part of this, okay? When one suffer, we all suffer. But because there's so many people working so hard to keep democracy in, and this group, okay, when Trump is doing his rallies, they're chanting. Okay, I'm thinking of some of the things I've said in the past. Angry Bird. All right, while they're partying with them, they're stealing their eggs. This is what I've been saying a very long time. So these people have to feel it. They must go through it. Because even if you try to prevent them from stepping in the fire, because they've been at a state of freedom, prosperity, things always go their way, they will never understand it. The perspective of putting themselves in somebody's shoes, they will never get it because they never face it. They must go through it, unfortunately, because so many people have been holding the front line for them, fighting. So many people lose their lives. Look in the 60s, African American history and all of that. This is why they don't want people to learn about history. They're banning books and all of that. They know. I'm thinking of this too raw, dear white women, what the F is your problem? What the F, I've shared this video so many times.
Dear white women, what the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose? Other than ruining the motherfucking casserole, what the fuck is your purpose other than voting against your better interests? What the fuck is your purpose other than running the motherfucking Coles with expires Coles cash, knowing damn well that shit been expired since 2010? Talk about, I want to speak to your manager. I want to buy something for my Timothy. It should still be good. It seems like every year white women just keep getting worse. Aren't they getting worse? If you look at the electorate, white women continue to vote for Republicans. Every year it keeps going up. It keeps going up. So my question is, why the fuck should we trust a lily white hoe? White women can't be trusted. Well, no, Kenny, don't be so mean to them. White suburban women are going to get it together. No, you're not. If you ain't got it together then, you ain't going to get it together now. Y'all didn't even vote for your own white sister Hillary. Why the fuck should we trust white women? And the thing that's really pissing me off is we continue to coddle these white women while we keep shitting on black women. We keep shitting on black voters. But we always put all this stock into white women that are never going to fucking show up for us. That's continue to vote against their own better interests. Because why the fuck? And this is the other shit that it pisses me off. Well, shouldn't we blame white men just as much as we blame white women? Maybe. But here's the bullshit that I have a problem with that is, I understand why white men are voting. Because white men are voting for their own better interest, which is keeping power, patriarchy. It makes sense. But why the fuck do a white woman think that she even has a motherfucking say? If she's constantly voting for a white man who's telling her that you don't have agency over your own fucking body. And the reason why y'all don't want to teach critical race theory is not about what's going on in the past, it's what's going on in the motherfucking present. The thing that's confusing me is how the fuck can you hide what's in motherfucking plain sight? We see your lily white racist ass through the motherfucking window. Hi, I'm Carolyn, and I want you blackies to know that niggers in this neighborhood have curfew. Okay, so when the street lights come on, make sure you're in your home, because if you're hanging, you will be swinging. Let's keep it 100, let's keep it a buck. The real reason why these white people don't want their kids to learn about critical race theory is because they don't want their kids to grow up knowing that their parents are fucking monsters. Every fucking day, you guys wake up early in the motherfucking morning, look yourself in the mirror, and you know you ain't shit. You know you're a racist piece of shit. And you don't want your kids to know that you're a fucking monster. And the difference between me and these other niggas is, guess what? I don't give a shit about telling you, bitch.
He is right, because they don't want their children to know they are monsters. He is 1000% right. This is why I always put his video. So right now, these kids, those white groups that's going through some stuff, they have to feel it. Because I've seen some TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, and I don't plan on being on TikTok. I've seen some videos where people are bringing TikTok videos of when Trump won, how happy they were. Women who were literally using the government. Okay, the system that Trump is telling them it's bad, socialism. They were using it. When, you know, you hear Midas Touch or other groups, individuals who took it upon themselves, letting them know they are using the socialism, not knowing their private things, what they do privately, if they were on food stamp or using any social program, we don't know, but we're telling them this is what's out there, this is part of the socialism. They're cheering to got it, thinking that it's mostly African American who's using it. Meanwhile, they were in it. This is what I mean. They have to go through it in order for them to understand it. So give us time, let them suffer a little bit, and then we will see. Okay, but the only thing that I'm a little bit afraid of is the fact that they can just a week and a half, or is it 2 weeks? Okay, he's been in office. It's dumpster fire, going through stuff really quickly. You see the pile of executive things that he had to sign. It's like running through them really quickly. There's so many things I want to say, but because they're just my opinion, and then if it is true, I don't want to give them idea to stop, because I think there's something much more bigger behind this. You know, they call Biden Sleepy Joe. Maybe he's not that sleepy. I don't know. Put a question mark on this. All right, let me finish this. Replace election with sortition, more checks and balances, diluted power, tax more, maybe, Levison too. This is the UK thing here. Imagine if Starmer, a human rights lawyer, chose to do something meaningful. I mean, the minute that I saw he went to the party, Murdoch's party, leading up to the July 4th election, I knew he's been... That's it. The coverage of Gaza over the past year by Western media has clearly indicated the Fourth Estate was scooped more widely and a long time before Trump. Yeah, they just use Trump and say, here, just sit there, and then you put your name onto that. He's just a puppet. He's just a puppet. The groups around him, they don't... I really think, you guys might disagree with me, when you listen to some of his things, his rallies, okay, there are some things that he said. He was giving us warning, and some of them he were pretty much truthful to the people. But anyway, even if you don't go by what he said, his first presidency should tell everybody enough. Okay, the way he governed the first presidency, that should have been enough for anybody. Okay, and people who have worked with him in his first term warned us what will happen if we give him another chance.
I'm Miles Taylor. I served as the Chief of Staff of the Department of Homeland Security under the Donald Trump administration. I would go into the office, I would read my intelligence brief, and then it was my job to help the Department of Homeland Security to keep our country safe. What we saw week in and week out, and for me after 2.5 years in that administration, was terrifying. We would go in to try to talk to him about a pressing national security issue, cyber attack, terrorism threat. He wasn't interested in those things. To him, they weren't priorities. The president wanted to exploit the Department of Homeland Security for his own political purposes and to fuel his own agenda. The California wildfires. On a phone call with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, he told FEMA to cut off the money and to no longer give individual assistance to California. He told us to stop giving money to people whose houses had burned down from a wildfire because he was so rageful that people in the state of California didn't support him and that politically it wasn't a base for him. The policies at the border, he wanted to restart zero tolerance and separate families. He said he wanted to go further and have a deliberate policy of ripping children away from their parents to show those parents that they shouldn't come to the border in the first place. A lot of the time, the things he wanted to do not only were impossible, but in many cases illegal. He didn't want us to tell him it was illegal anymore because he knew that there were, and these were his words, he knew that he had magical authorities. He was one of the most unfocused and undisciplined senior executives I've ever encountered. I came away completely convinced based on firsthand experience that the president was ill-equipped and wouldn't become equipped to do his job effectively, and what's worse, was actively doing damage to our security. People who are still serving in this administration have said to me, just wait until the second term. It'll be no holds barred, it'll be shock and awe. We'll do what we want. Given what I've experienced in the administration, I have to support Joe Biden for president, and even though I'm not a Democrat, even though I disagree on key issues, I'm confident that Joe Biden will protect the country. And I'm confident he won't make the same mistakes as this president.
Next tweet. And I'm hearing, what is it? They're trying to go for, like, to have a third term. We shall see. And then other president could come in and, well, let's leave that alone. Next tweet. Okay, this is Invictus. There's that. These are the people who risk their lives, okay? Risk their lives. And the worst thing is, where did I read that they said Fox News was being shown at the base? This is the mindset that they were, corrupting some of the soldiers. And I heard a good portion of soldiers voted against their best interests. And now they're going after their benefits. Can you imagine this? These guys risk their life. I know this is some of the UK thing, but just think of the US as well. Risk their lives, lose limbs, some didn't even come home. And then those that survive, who should get that little money that they got for risking it all, and this guy who didn't even want to serve is like literally ripping the red carpet off of them. All right, let me see how many soldiers voted for Trump, if they have some numbers or statistic about that. Let me see. So there are. So let me go into that. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm not going to read all of the article. I'm looking for some numbers. Okay? According exit polls on election day, 12% of voters in this presidential election had served in the U.S. military, and 65% of them, that's a good, anything above 50, of them said they voted for Donald Trump, while 34% said they voted for Kamala Harris. Okay, so this is the number here. And there was somewhere I read that Fox News was being shown on the base. So it worked for them. This is an investment for them. All right, putting it in the base, corrupt the mind, make them vote against their best interests, and then meanwhile they're risking their lives for it, for the country. All right, this will be in the description if you want to read more. All right, go back to this. All right, what else? All right, so there's that. There's that. All right, there's a lot. You could pause and read. All right, there's that. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. I have one more after that. Oh my God, 33 minutes. Alright, so there's no caption. He just tweeted this. Here in Canada, many of us believe we are witnessing the fall of the US empire. if you are a member of mine, you see some of those videos that I've put out. Okay, I don't know how it's shown at your end, because there's some I only put for my members because they are very, I would say crazy talk, crazy talk, but I'm not surprised. And I've shared this with you that, you know, you should not be surprised. I don't expect anybody to agree or believe what I say, but I share my thought with you. All right. Will a civilized country limit health care or food assistance for the poor? Well, it's happening now. Many of these people vote against their best interests. And the Canada, you're not too far away, because I'm sure there are some groups just like the Trump, the MAGAs, are over there. So you just need to be vigilant. This is what I mean. The U.S. is a model. Just look at what we're going through and make sure you don't go through it. And then there's a possibility what we are facing now may not be too long. Okay? And then it's going to be an internal problem. All right? We're not going to be at the top anymore. All right? Forget that. Trump just destroyed that in a week. It will be an internal problem where, as a country, how do we plan on moving forward? Okay? So that's what is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be there too long, but some people need to go through some stuff. Okay? Will a civilized country limit health care or food assistance for the poor? Okay? We had President Obama who gave them ACA. Many of these people, the uneducated one.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
The Republican manipulate the dark skin of President Obama as saying that Obamacare. Now, the idiots who didn't know or do any research to find out what the hell is Obamacare, to know that it's the ACA, and then they voted against it. Any Republican who's running for office back then saying, oh, we're going to gut the ACA, we're going to gut the Obamacare. And, well, they didn't use ACA, but they kept on saying Obamacare. To really repeat, and then until it's sticking to these people's brain. That's all they were hearing. Obamacare, Obamacare. The key word here, Obama. Okay? The dark skin, racism. They attach this. This is the link of it. Make them voted against it. Meanwhile, the name of the bill was ACA, Affordable Care Act. And now, when these people, Republican are running for office, all they have to say, oh no, I'm gonna vote against gutted Obamacare. That's all. They didn't say ACA, Obamacare. Now, these people, as stupid as they are, many of them were using Obamacare. Now, voted for this particular person who said they're going to gut Obamacare. And now, little at a time, they're chipping it away. Trump did say he was going to gut it too. So, when they get in office and did what they need to do, and then now, their healthcare no longer valid, and then they're saying, oh, I don't want Obamacare, I want ACA. And then the person you're talking to looking at you and said, what the hell is wrong with you? Obamacare is ACA. Do you have any other option? All right. So anyway, all this also have to do with the repetitive, the Fox News. These are the things they were listening to. And then you got mainstream media, okay, not reporting the foundation of we don't even have any reporting anymore. It's the same sensational thing that, the UK has. The model that you see in the UK is the same thing in the US. And then Canada is a commonwealth of the UK. So we shall see. Leave crops rotting in the field, destroy the educational system, target women, and attempt to eliminate their reproductive right while refusing to help resulting babies. Abuse desperate immigrants, pretend to believe in Christianity while perverting and debasing its tenets, refuse to protect the earth from destruction. The world is watching. Oh, guess what? I'm sorry, the UK is part of that as well. The UK is more finesse, okay? They know how to do. They've been at it. The manipulation, the facade of things. They've been refine it in so many ways. Now they're training the US. Now, this is why I said many Americans need to go through some stuff, okay? So there's all of that. Let's leave this alone. I don't want to go too deep into it. I'm already, 30 38 something minutes. Okay, so this is my last one. There's a lot of other discussion that's going on Twitter. I'm just ignoring a good portion of it. Plus tomorrow I have place to go. Okay, my fellow 92%ers and 88%ers, how y'all doing? This is the thing, African American want them. Okay, so we're just minding our own business. But for some reason, I thought it was 77% of black men who voted. I didn't know it was that high. 88% is, let me look it up as well. Okay, so the question is, what is the percentage of black men voted for Trump? Let's see here. The link will be in the description. I'm just looking for percentage. Okay, Washington, AP, Donald Trump won the presidency after holding tight to his core base of the voters slightly. Okay, where are the numbers? Trump picked up small but significant share of black Hispanic vote and made narrow gains with men and women as Trump chipped away at part of Democratic coalition. Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't able to make enough of her own gains. Okay, I don't see any numbers. Oh, maybe it's further down. What are these? Okay, 18 to 29 voters. Okay, I need most Trump voters were white, a trend that continued from 2020. Okay. Trump's share of black voters was slightly driven largely by younger men. There they are here. Okay, so this is where I probably will find it. Okay, Trump was able to make slight inroad with black voters nationally, who made up about 1 in 10 voters across the country. National, I'm thinking that there's some votes that were not counted and some were trashed, okay, were thrown away. And also, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking there's a video that I saw of this white lady who, I think she's studying overseas, and she asked for a mail-in ballot and they didn't send it to her on time, and she flew back to the US to vote. And I really feel for her, because as a student, I know money is tight. Okay, even though she's overseas, I know money is tight. Okay, unless if she, well, she care enough to come and vote. She know what was at stake. If you listen to this, may God bless you. You did your part. Okay, God will reward you one way or the other. Trump was able to make okay, where was I? National, about 8 in 10 black voters supported Harris. Okay, 8 in 10. Okay, but that was down from about 9-10 in the last presidential election, went for Biden. Okay, I was looking for percentage. I'll leave this for you guys. You guys could check it yourself. Okay, the link is in the description. Okay, so back to this. So that was the tweet asking how black people are doing. So there's me here, lurking every now and then to see when this shit show is going to end. Pretty good. How are you? I'm doing great. Okay, so that's it. It's pretty much, look at this here. Watching everything burning down pretty much. Okay, time to sit back and relax. That's it. All right, so that's pretty much the same sense, okay, we're getting from the comments. Okay, my piece is on rocket ship, higher than it's ever been. I'm good still. Haven't watched the news. Here binge watching all the Queen's Men for my wife and her friends and my daughters and her friends. So just watching the thing. They're burning it down. They thought they were voting to hurt others. Okay, the lack of compassion of these people, that's what got us to this. They made them hate. They fuel on hate. The same type of things that's going on in the UK. All right, they can't see. They don't like the fact that certain demographic are happy. Okay, they don't want to see that. They want to see you in pain. So they were voting for hate, and then at the end of the day, they were hurting themselves. So they need to go through that. Okay, but what will be remain, and we should make sure of that, because they know how to. They try to erase history, is to make sure to let people know the amount of people who voted against the shit show that's going on here. Okay, so that's that. I'm done with whatever I put on my list. Let's do it. And the other thing I've said in past video regarding Europe, the peace and prosperity they have gotten, the support they have gotten from America. Okay, it was the majority of time when we vote, we vote for smart, intelligent, capable people who could do the job. So now you have Trump. Who knows? We already know which direction he's going. He let us know. So if your peace and prosperity no longer there, do not blame. How will I say that? The support you would have gotten from America will no longer be there because look who we have. Okay? But the same type of mindset some of those MAGAs have, it's also in Europe as well. I've always said every time African American, not just African American, anybody with a brown skin, okay, it become a passport for mistreatment to prevent them from doing anything, you know, that they would like for themselves. It become a passport to mistreat them. So I hope many of these people take a look within themselves and see how they could remove that kind of a hate, because this type of mentality hurting others come from Europe. It come from Europe because everywhere around the globe before the European came in, there were stabilization. There probably some infight between people, but you guys abuse the welcome that these people have given you guys, and leave Africa alone. And then, okay, you don't want many of those brown and black people come to your shore. Leave Africa alone. Leave those other countries alone, brown and black countries alone, so they don't come to your shore, because we are not fish. We do not breathe in water. We need land. Okay, so leave our land alone. You could come and visit, depending on what laws there is in their respective countries, and respect it. Okay, because you guys are going around, create chaos. Look what's happening in Haiti. Haiti do not have gun. They don't produce gun. How come there's so many guns in Haiti? Which means the same tactic of fueling people of hate, okay, it's happening over there as well. I do not have any proof of what's going on. If people don't say what's going on, I will not know. But the amount of killing that's going on, the chaos that's going on over there, I will not be 100% surprised if some group, either Europe or America, okay, like, you guys should know, just like Mexico said, Mexico doesn't produce gun. Where does those guns come from? Who's giving or handing out and shipping those guns over there? So individuals within European countries and America, okay, we need to look at our elected officials. Leave those countries alone. Okay, you don't want them to come at your shore, but don't disturb their peace of mind. They may have their internal issues. Let them deal with their issues, but don't come and stir more and give guns and all of that. And in one past video, I think it was Thailand, one of Asian countries, one of those either former or current prime minister was saying something about African, about their nose. Meanwhile, you're looking at the guy, you're like, why are you describing yourself onto somebody else? Okay, stirring problem, chaos. So Europeans, talk to your officials. Leave those countries alone. Don't stir more issues. You don't want black and brown people in your country, so leave those countries alone. Let them be. Quick prayer. Prayer for I don't know. I'm thinking the mind, because everything is happening here is through the mind. They corrupt the mind. So prayer for the mind. Let's say that. Okay. This is the thinking behind it, to rebuild the mind. Okay. That's it. Rebuild the mind. Prayer. Okay. I add more to it. Okay. I said prayer to rebuild the mind and body for better. Let's see if there's something. I don't know. Okay, so there's this here. Renew my mind, body, and soul. Hold my heart within yours and renew my mind, body, and soul. I am lost. Yeah, a lot of people are lost. I'm not lost. And I'm still following God's teaching. And I'm holding his hand and I'm following him. Okay, I am lost. That's the derangers, the left behinders. That's the MAGAs. Okay, they are lost. They are lost. They need direction to learn compassion. Okay, I am lost, but But I come to you with grace. You give us life, and you also give us the gift of infinite joy. Give me the strength to move forward on the path you've laid out for me. Okay, I'm gonna stick with that. It sounds pretty good. Alright, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Alright, so let me get this really going really quick. Hopefully I finish before 7 o'clock. Right now it's 1:19. Thank you for watching.